What's going on, guys? My name is Jacob. I am a photographer based out of Birmingham, Alabama, and today I wanted to do a tutorial on frequency separation. Frequency separation is the main way that I edit my portraits along with dodge and burn. So I just want to make a quick tutorial for y'all. I know when I was learning this, there was really only one tutorial that I watched that genuinely helped me out, and I'll put the link in the description to the video that I'm basing this off of from Jessica, I'm going to butcher her last name, Kubesi. And without further ado, let's jump right on into it. Oh, whoops. Ooh, forgot that I had my coffee here. Okay, so now we have our image that we're going to be editing pulled up here. It is it's a portrait that I took of my girlfriend Anna not too long ago. We did a 20s themed shoot, and yeah, I really liked how a lot of these turned out actually. It had been a while since we had done portraits. I've been on a sports photography kick recently, but so yeah, I'll put a link to a Dropbox file so you can edit along with me for this. First things first, I'm going to be showing you how to make a frequency separation action. So you can save it on your computer, save it on Photoshop, go in, activate it, then you'll have all the layers already pre-made for you so you can go ahead and start editing. So I guess to preface this whole video first, the point of frequency separation is to smooth out the skin in more of a professional looking way. I know some people don't like how it looks, some people do like how it looks. I personally really like it, and then obviously the model that I'm shooting with, Anna, she likes it as well. So one thing that I always make sure is to let people know that you're going to be shooting with, that this is what you're going to do. You're going to be retouching their skin, because obviously it's not a very natural look, just to make sure that they're okay with it. So there's two layers when it comes to frequency separation. There's a high frequency layer and there's a low frequency layer. The low frequency layer is for like dark spots, smoothing out the rest of the skin, making sure everything blends together really nicely. And then there's the high frequency layer that allows you to remove blemishes, marks, under eyes, all that kind of stuff. So like the details versus the colors, I guess you could say. So the first step you'll want to do is to just duplicate your background layer, and for that you can do Control or Command J depending on what computer you have. But the first thing you'll want to do is just label this low frequency, and then you can go ahead and duplicate that layer, again, Control or Command J, and rename this one high frequency, if I can spell frequency. So first, what you'll want to do is go ahead and hide the high frequency layer while you're working with the low frequency. So what you'll do is you can just right click, go over to Convert Smart Object. The reason you'll do this is so you can go back and change the Gaussian blur that you're going to be putting on it, just in case it's too much, or I don't know. It's a non-destructive way to work. So in my eyes, it's the best way to do it. So then what you'll do is go over to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian blur. And so for this, I like to keep mine around 20. You can change it all depending on how much you want to be able to see. As far as I know, it does not matter the amount of Gaussian blur that you put on there. I just like doing this because it keeps my eyes away from all the details in the photo, so I'm mainly focusing on the colors of her skin tone, and making sure everything blends together really nice. So yeah, you can just do that, keep it around 20, hit OK. And so now, since you made it a smart object, you can have the filter down here that you can adjust at any given time if you were to want to. Now to the high frequency, activate that layer first off so you can see it and edit it. So yeah, once you get to apply image, you'll go over to low frequency. You want to make sure it's a key point. Make sure that the layer says low frequency. Even though you're working on the high frequency, just make sure layer low frequency or it's not going to work correctly. So yeah, your blending mode, you'll go down to add, scale to offset 0. Once you get that done, opacity stay at 100%, and you will hit OK. So now you'll end up with this gray image that has all these like harsh lines and whatnot, and it kind of looks like a horror movie. So in order to fix this, get it back to a normal looking image that you're able to edit and post on Instagram to get all the sick likes, you'll go all the way down to up here at the top. You'll go to the blending mode and go down to linear light. And then so once you click on linear light, then it'll again just turn it back to a normal photo. Looks the exact same as the original background layer if you turn off both layers. But now it's just separated between details and color, essentially. So yeah, you can just, now you can hit that little arrow to bunch that back up, hold shift and click high frequency, low frequency, and then hit controller command G. It'll group the layers for you, and then you can just name it FS, frequency separation. You can type out the whole thing if you want. Now, what I should have done at the beginning of this is gone up here to the little play button over on the side of this bar, go over to actions, and then click the little folded piece of paper right there, type in frequency separation, like that, and then hit record. And then when you're making those two layers, and you hit record, then it'll record those steps that you took, and then go up here and you'll be able to hit the stop button. Like if you hit record, it'll start recording, doing all your steps. You go up here, hit the stop button, and then it'll make an action for you so you don't have to go through and do those steps every single time. But obviously I forgot to do that. So y'all can just do that next time, I guess. Apologies. So now that you have your frequency separation layer, what I like to do is start on low frequency. So just hide the high frequency layer so you don't see all those wonderful details, and then you'll go over to your healing brush. Obviously click on low frequency so you can see what you're doing. And then the main thing you're wanting to do here is find all the dark spots that aren't super even all over the skin, like right here, right there, right here along the underneath of the lips, maybe a little bit right here, but nothing major, and then right there and like right there. And so those are the main spots that I look at. But you never really want to edit like down here or any of the super natural shadows that are on the face, because again, it'll make it look less natural and it just doesn't really work out too well. So what you want to do is you'll alt click on the skin. It'll say rasterize layer, hit OK. It's perfectly fine. It'll just shrink down the Gaussian blur into the layer instead of leaving a smart filter, because it wouldn't let you edit the photo. Click on the part of your skin that you want to edit. Best advice that I can give you is just click on a smooth part of skin that resembles the color that you want the rest of the skin to be. Like say you were editing the highlights right here, you wouldn't want to pull from like over here in the dark section, because then it would just start looking weird and it's just not a good move. So you'll want to click anywhere on the skin that looks about right to you, and then go and just start clicking away. Now I'm using a Wacom tablet, so I have a pen and a pad that I'm able to just tap on. But I would suggest getting a mouse just so you can have the best control, or getting a Wacom tablet, either one. You can use your trackpad on your computer. It's not the best thing in the world, but you can definitely do it. But yeah, you'll just click over and over and over again. until you start to see the dark shadows kind of disappear a little bit. I'm just going to do this for the rest of the photo. I'll fast forward to it and then I'll catch up with you guys once I start doing the high frequency layer again. Okay, so actually, I just ran into something that tends to happen to me quite a lot whenever I'm doing this and I'm not paying attention, is whenever you do take a really bright highlight and start to run into the dark spots on the photo over here, what you can do is just zoom in, go back to your healing brush, pick the layer, or pick a part of the skin that is in the same area as the dark spot, get a smaller brush and kind of go in around it and just try and brush out the super bright highlights that you just stamped in there. Because whenever you're trying to, if you do like Controller Command Z to undo, you can only do that 25 times. And so because I tend to tap like a madman, I end up tapping like 47 times and I can only go back again 25 times. So I just find this to be the easiest way out of that little situation. But yeah, I just wanted to stop for a second and tell you guys that in case any of y'all were to run into that certain thing. Okay, so now I've finished the low frequency layer on her face. Sometimes I'll go in, do the neck and the arms if it's like super necessary, but for this photo I don't really think it is, because I'll be able to fix a lot of the imperfections with the dodge and burn. We'll go over to the high frequency, and so this is where you're going to be editing out any creases that you don't want, pimples, dark spots, blackheads, specks of dust, little bits of hair that you don't want in the photo. You can easily edit it that way. So what you'll do is just, again, get the nice healing brush. I like to make it kind of small for some helpful key shortcuts for y'all too. The bracket, I think that's what it's called. The left bracket will make it smaller and the right bracket will make it bigger. It's just easier than going up and going here and going to brush size and everything. And then also Z is zoom in and out. I don't know if any of y'all need to know that, but that just helps me a lot. So then of course I don't know the hotkey for healing brush. I would think 8. Oh, it's J. Look at there. So J. So again, Alt click anywhere on a smooth piece of skin and just tap once. Boom. It's gone. It's like magic. And then you can go in, take out any serious marks that you don't want in there. Again, because this is someone's skin, I like to leave anything that is permanently on their body. Like any type of freckles or moles or anything like that. Rule of thumb, if it'll still be there in 2 weeks, I tend to leave it just to be on the safe side, especially when you're working with someone that you don't know personally. Alright, so I am back. I have finished removing all of the blemishes and dust and hair and everything that I don't want in the photo. Now luckily Anna has pretty fantastic skin, so there's very little that I have to do, but this will just show you how to do it, how to make the layers, and again this can carry over to pretty much every photo. There can be exceptions, like if there's a bunch of shadows on someone's face, that can be a little more difficult. But as long as the face is lit pretty well, it's a pretty straightforward editing style to do. So here is the before, here's the after. Again, not a lot that I had to do to it because her skin was pretty fantastic. So now I'll just go in. I'm gonna do some dodge and burn. I'm gonna do a final color grade on it, and then I will get back with y'all. Yeah, once I finish the photo. Okay, so here is my final edit. So here is the before, there's the after, and one more time before and after. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed. This was my tutorial on frequency separation. The whole edit took me about 45 minutes, but again, I was also talking through it, naming the steps, creating the layers, not having the action made, all that stuff. So really, once you practice it a lot, then you'll be able to really fly through it. A whole edit normally takes me around 20 to 30 minutes, but just the frequency separation part normally takes me about 10 to 15. Again, I'll leave a link in the description to this photo so you can follow along. Just know that like the more you do it, the more you practice, the faster you'll get, the better you'll get at it, the more confident you'll feel about your edits. And yeah, if you want to see a dodge and burn tutorial or a color grading tutorial, be sure to hit that like button and let me know down in the comments. Yeah, other than that guys, that's about it for me. Appreciate y'all joining in today. See you in the next one.